Welcome to Universe Orbit, your gateway to exploring the vast wonders of space, where the mysteries of the cosmos unfold through captivating videos. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a single voyage through the infinite universe. The naming of planets is a fascinating intersection of astronomy, history, mythology, and human culture. At first glance, it may seem that the names of the planets were simply chosen at random, but the truth is far richer and more complex. Each name carries with it stories of ancient civilizations, linguistic evolution, and the ways in which humanity has sought to make sense of the cosmos. The planets in our solar system, familiar to many even from childhood, are not just celestial bodies. They are symbols that carry the legacy of human curiosity and imagination across millennia. The practice of naming celestial bodies predates the invention of the telescope and the modern scientific study of astronomy. Ancient cultures observed the night sky with awe, recording the movements of stars, planets, and other celestial phenomena. Among these, the planets held a special place. Unlike stars, which appeared fixed in their constellations, planets wandered across the sky. This wandering behavior set them apart, earning them the designation of wandering stars in many early languages. Civilizations such as the Babylonians, Greeks, Romans, Egyptians, and Chinese developed complex systems for tracking these objects, often associating them with deities and divine forces. The Romans in particular played a pivotal role in the naming system that persists in much of the Western world today. Roman mythology was rich with gods and goddesses whose personalities and attributes resonated with the characteristics that ancient astronomers observed in the planets. Mercury, for instance, was named after the Roman god of commerce, travel, and communication. This association was likely due to the planet's rapid movement across the sky, mirroring Mercury's role as a swift messenger of the gods. Venus, known for its bright and striking presence, was named after the goddess of love and beauty, reflecting the planet's radiant and captivating appearance. Mars, with its reddish hue reminiscent of blood, was associated with the yawn of war, a connection that has fascinated observers for thousands of years. Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, was named after the king of the Roman gods, a fitting tribute to its commanding presence in the night sky. Saturn, with its slow, deliberate orbit and magnificent rings, was linked to the god of agriculture and time, symbolizing patience in the passing of seasons. The outer planets, discovered much later with the advent of telescopes, continued this mythological tradition. Uranus, though named in honor of the ancient Greek god of the sky rather than a Roman deity, aligned with the celestial theme, while Neptune, with its deep blue color, was named after the Roman god of the sea, evoking images of the vast oceans on Earth. Pluto, discovered in the 20th century, took its name from the Roman god of the underworld, reflecting the planet's distant and shadowy nature at the edge of the solar system. While the Roman naming convention dominates Western astronomy, other cultures approach planetary names differently, often incorporating their own mythologies and cosmologies. In ancient China, for example, planets were associated with the 5 elements: water, fire, wood, metal, and earth. Each planet symbolized one of these elements, and their movements were believed to influence human affairs and natural phenomena. Mercury was connected to water, Venus to metal, Mars to fire, Jupiter to wood, and Saturn to earth. This system illustrates how cultures use observation of the heavens not just for scientific purposes, but for spiritual guidance, calendrical systems, and decision-making in governance. The process of naming planets also reveals the evolving nature of scientific discovery. Before the invention of the telescope, only 5 planets were visible to the naked eye: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. The discovery of Uranus by William Herschel in 1781 challenged astronomers to extend traditional naming conventions. Herschel initially wanted to name the planet after himself, reflecting his significant contribution to astronomy. However, the scientific community favored a mythological name, ultimately settling on Uranus to honor the ancient Greek deity. This decision reflects the balance between personal recognition and adherence to cultural and historical traditions, highlighting the social dynamics within scientific communities. Similarly, Neptune's discovery in 1846 prompted debates over its name. Some astronomers suggested naming it after contemporary figures or adopting a variety of cultural references. But ultimately, the name Neptune, inspired by Roman mythology and consistent with the established pattern, was widely accepted. Pluto, discovered in 1930, followed a similar path. A schoolgirl in England, Venetia Burney, suggested the name Pluto, capturing the public's imagination with its evocative reference to the god of the underworld. The name's adoption also demonstrated the interplay between scientific circles and popular culture, a dynamic that continues today as new celestial bodies are discovered and named. In modern times, the process of naming celestial objects has become more formalized and governed by international bodies such as the International Astronomical Union, IAU. The IAU ensures that new discoveries are named systematically, avoiding duplication and confusion while maintaining a sense of cultural and historical continuity. Names may be proposed by discoverers, but must be approved by committees, often following specific guidelines that reflect mythology, science, literature, or other culturally significant sources. This careful regulation ensures that naming remains a meaningful exercise, connecting contemporary discovery with ancient human traditions. The extension of this naming process to moons, asteroids, and other celestial bodies has further enriched our understanding of how human culture shapes astronomy. Many moons of planets carry names from mythologies associated with the planets themselves. For instance, Jupiter's moons are named after lovers and companions of the god Jupiter, reinforcing the mythological connections. Saturn's moons are named after Titans and other figures from Roman and Greek mythology, again demonstrating the desire to maintain thematic coherence. This practice highlights how naming conventions serve not only as practical identifiers, but also as a bridge connecting scientific observation to the stories and beliefs of human history. Language plays a crucial role in planetary names, shaping both perception and memory. The Latin roots of many planetary names have endured through centuries, influencing the languages spoken by millions and creating a shared astronomical vocabulary. Terms like Mercury, Venus, and Mars are instantly recognizable across cultures, linking scientific terminology with cultural heritage. In some cases, the translation or adaptation of names into local languages preserves the original mythological reference while making it accessible to different linguistic communities. This interplay between language and culture ensures that the naming of planets is not merely a scientific procedure, but also a reflection of humanity's collective imagination. Interestingly, the characteristics of the planets themselves often influence the names chosen. Observers have historically associated visual features, colors, and motion patterns with particular deities or symbolic ideas. The reddish color of Mars suggested blood, war, and aggression, and leading naturally to its association with the god of war. Venus shines brilliantly, evoking beauty, love, and allure. The slow, majestic movement of Saturn aligns with themes of time, patience, and contemplation. These associations demonstrate a human tendency to project meaning onto natural phenomena, a behavior that has shaped not only planetary names, but also myths, legends, and cultural narratives worldwide. The story of planetary naming is also a story of discovery and technological advancement. As telescopes improved and astronomers extended their reach beyond the naked eye planets, they encountered new challenges and opportunities in naming. The discovery of Ceres, initially classified as a planet before being redefined as a dwarf planet, prompted debates over naming conventions, emphasizing the dynamic relationship between classification, observation, and cultural tradition. Similarly, the identification of trans-Neptunian objects and exoplanets in recent decades has required innovative approaches to naming, blending mythology, literature, science fiction, and contemporary culture. These modern naming practices illustrate the continuing evolution of the human relationship with the cosmos, demonstrating that naming is not static, but responsive to new knowledge and perspectives. The fascination with naming planets is not confined to the classical planets visible to the naked eye. As astronomy progressed, the discovery of additional celestial objects challenged humans to find meaningful names that fit the existing patterns and yet reflected the uniqueness of these distant worlds. The discovery of Uranus, as previously mentioned, was significant because it expanded the solar system beyond what had been known for millennia. Herschel's proposed name, Georgium Sidus, after King George III, reflected a European tradition of honoring monarchs, yet it did not resonate internationally. Astronomers preferred names rooted in mythology, underscoring a universal cultural heritage that transcended political boundaries. Uranus itself offers an intriguing example of mythological continuity. While it honors the Greek god of the sky, it was translated into Latinized form to fit alongside other planetary names like Jupiter and Saturn. This process illustrates the human desire for coherence and symmetry in naming. A desire not merely aesthetic, but also cognitive. Names create mental frameworks that allow humans to organize knowledge, recognize patterns, and relate new discoveries to existing understanding. In this sense, naming a planet is as much an act of interpretation as it is of identification. The discovery of Neptune brought further complexity to the naming process. Observed as a small, faint point of light beyond Uranus, Neptune's existence was predicted mathematically before it was visually confirmed, a remarkable triumph of human reasoning. The planet's ultimate name, referencing the Roman god of the sea, fit beautifully with its vivid blue appearance, reminiscent of deep ocean waters. The color itself, caused by methane in Neptune's atmosphere, seemed almost poetic in the way it matched the mythological reference. This connection between physical characteristics and cultural symbolism demonstrates how the human mind seeks meaning, linking the observable universe with stories that give life to abstract science. Pluto, discovered in 1930, added another dimension to planetary naming, highlighting how public engagement can influence scientific decisions. Venetia Burney's suggestion of the name Pluto captured the imagination not only of astronomers, but of the broader public. The name resonated because of its association with the underworld, a fitting metaphor for a distant, cold, and shadowy world on the outskirts of the solar system. Interestingly, the discovery of Pluto coincided with the use of the initials PL in tribute to Percival Lowell, the astronomer whose predictions led to its search, creating an additional layer of symbolic connection. Pluto's story illustrates the interplay between discovery, mythology, and public participation in scientific naming, a dynamic that has only intensified in modern times with the expansion of astronomical exploration. Beyond the classical planets and their immediate discoveries, naming conventions extend to moons, dwarf planets, asteroids, and other celestial objects, each of which presents unique challenges. Moons are often named in thematic groups related to the planets they orbit. Jupiter's moons, for example, carry the names of lovers, daughters, and companions of Jupiter from mythology, establishing a clear narrative link. Saturn's moons, similarly, are named after titans, giants, and other mythological figures, reinforcing the connection between the planet and its celestial entourage. Thematic naming creates a sense of unity and storytelling in the solar system, allowing astronomers and the public alike to perceive relationships between celestial objects beyond mere spatial proximity. Asteroids, discovered in large numbers beginning in the 19th century, introduced additional complexity. Early asteroids were often named after figures from classical mythology, much like the planets, but as the number of discoveries increased, astronomers expanded naming conventions to include cultural figures, scientists, literary characters, and even abstract concepts. This broadening reflects the diversity of human culture and acknowledges the contributions of various fields to human knowledge. Each asteroid's name, therefore, is not merely a label but a miniature tribute, linking the cosmos to human creativity, intellect, and imagination. The International Astronomical Union, IAU, established in 1919, eventually became the official authority overseeing celestial nomenclature. Their guidelines aim to maintain consistency, avoid duplication, and respect cultural significance, all while allowing discoverers some influence. Modern naming procedures often require that new objects, such as dwarf planets or exoplanets, adhere to themes or mythological frameworks, ensuring that naming remains coherent and meaningful. For example, trans-Neptunian objects are frequently named after underworld deities, reflecting their distant, icy, and often mysterious nature. The IAU's role illustrates how naming, though seemingly whimsical, is in fact a structured and deliberate process, bridging science, culture, and history. In addition to mythology, literary works, folklore, and modern culture have increasingly inspired planetary names. The discovery of minor planets, exoplanets, and features on moons and planets often leads to names drawn from global literature, including epic poems, novels, and even contemporary fiction. This expansion represents a democratization of naming, recognizing that human imagination is not limited to ancient mythologies but continues to evolve. For instance, naming features on Saturn's moon Titan after characters and places from mythologies around the world allows astronomers to honor diverse cultural traditions while maintaining a systematic approach to nomenclature. Exoplanets, planets orbiting stars beyond our solar system, present a new frontier for naming. Initially designated with alphanumeric codes based on their parent star, the IAU has allowed public participation in naming campaigns, inviting contributions from around the world. These names often draw on local myths, languages, and cultural heritage, reflecting humanity's shared fascination with distant worlds. By incorporating global perspectives, exoplanet naming acknowledges the universality of curiosity and the desire to connect human identity with the cosmos. Each name becomes a symbolic link between Earth and a distant star system, a reminder that discovery is a human endeavor spanning cultures, languages, and generations. The meanings embedded in planetary names often extend beyond mythology to encompass symbolic, scientific, and poetic associations. For example, Mercury's speed is not only a physical observation, but also a metaphorical attribute. Venus's brilliance suggests allure and beauty, and Mars's color evokes imagery of struggle and conflict. These connections demonstrate how human perception shapes interpretation, assigning qualities and narratives to celestial bodies that transcend their physical properties. In a sense, the act of naming transforms abstract science into stories that are easier to remember, communicate, and integrate into human culture. Language itself mediates the transmission of planetary names across time and space. Latin, as the lingua franca of educated Europeans for many centuries, preserved the names of planets and embedded them in scientific discourse. The translation of these names into local languages maintained the core mythological references while adapting to linguistic differences. Today, terms like Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus are recognized worldwide, demonstrating the enduring power of cultural heritage in science. Language enables not only identification, but also narrative cohesion, allowing astronomers, educators, and the public to discuss the cosmos with shared understanding and clarity. Cultural perspectives on planets also influence how names are perceived. For instance, in Chinese astronomy, planets are associated with the 5 elements: water, fire, wood, metal, and earth, linking planetary motion with natural philosophy, health, and governance. Mercury, associated with water, was thought to influence fluidity and adaptability, while Mars, linked to fire, symbolized aggression and transformation. These symbolic associations guided decisions, predictions, and interpretations, showing that planetary naming is not merely an act of labeling, but a way of integrating celestial observation into human life and societal structures. In contrast, Western traditions focus more on mythological narratives, storytelling, and symbolic characteristics derived from appearance and motion. The history of planetary naming also reveals tensions between innovation and tradition. When astronomers discover new objects, they must balance the desire for originality with the need for coherence in the existing system. Uranus and Neptune illustrate the negotiation between scientific discovery and adherence to mythological continuity, while the naming of Pluto demonstrates how public engagement and poetic symbolism can shape scientific decisions. Modern practices, particularly in the naming of exoplanets, continue to navigate these tensions, reflecting the evolving relationship between science, culture, and public imagination. In addition to mythology, many planetary names convey symbolic meaning related to human experience. The names suggest qualities humans perceive in the planets, connecting cosmic phenomena with emotions, narratives, and archetypes. Mars evokes war and struggle, Venus beauty and desire, Jupiter authority and majesty. Even in distant worlds like Neptune and Pluto, observers projected meaning onto appearance, orbit, and position. This human tendency to find patterns and significance in nature underscores the profound connection between observation and interpretation, revealing how scientific discovery is inseparable from cultural and psychological context. The story of how planets get their names is not confined to major planets alone. The discovery of smaller celestial bodies, such as dwarf planets, asteroids, and moons, has introduced new layers of complexity, creativity, and cultural expression. Dwarf planets, for example, often inhabit the outer reaches of the solar system and were discovered long after the classical planets. Pluto, which was initially classified as a planet, was later redefined as a dwarf planet, leading to discussions about its classification and the suitability of its name. The discovery of additional trans-Neptunian objects, such as Eris, Haumea, and Makemake, required new naming conventions that both respected mythological traditions and reflected their unique characteristics. These distant worlds often received names associated with creation myths, underworld deities, or other culturally significant figures, emphasizing the mysterious and often extreme environments they inhabit. Asteroids, first discovered in the early 19th century, are particularly fascinating in terms of naming conventions. Initially, astronomers adhered strictly to classical mythology, naming asteroids after goddesses or mythological heroines. As discoveries increased exponentially, however, the naming system expanded to include male and female historical figures, scientists, literary characters, artists, and even abstract concepts. For instance, the asteroid Vesta takes its name from the Roman goddess of hearth and home, while Pallas honors the Greek goddess Athena. Later asteroids received more contemporary names, illustrating how the act of naming reflects both the evolving scope of human culture and the personal influence of discoverers. Today, with hundreds of thousands of known asteroids, the process has become formalized, balancing creativity with systematic oversight to prevent duplication or confusion. Moons, the natural satellites orbiting planets, also follow thematic naming conventions, often reflecting the mythology of the planets they accompany. Jupiter's many moons, discovered over centuries, carry the names of mythological figures intimately linked to Jupiter, the king of the Roman gods. Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, among others, are all figures from Greek mythology associated with Zeus, the Greek equivalent of Jupiter. These names create a coherent narrative linking the primary planet with its celestial companions. Similarly, Saturn's moons draw their names from Titans and other mythological entities, further reinforcing thematic continuity. Even the small, irregular moons of these gas giants are often named following the same mythological tradition, illustrating the careful thought given to coherence and symbolism in celestial naming. Uranus's moons present a fascinating departure from classical mythological naming. Instead of following the Roman or Greek mythology that dominates other planetary systems, many of Uranus's moons are named after characters from English literature, particularly the works of William Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. Examples include Titania, Oberon, Ariel, and Miranda. This literary convention reflects both the time and cultural context in which these moons were discovered, while also demonstrating the flexibility of naming practices to accommodate unique discoveries. By drawing on literature rather than mythology, astronomers enrich the diversity of planetary naming traditions, showing that names can also celebrate human creativity and intellectual achievement. The naming of Neptune's moons returned to classical mythology, consistent with the oceanic theme of the planet itself. Triton, Neptune's largest moon, is named after the sea god and messenger of the deep, reflecting its icy, distant, and enigmatic nature. Other moons of Neptune, such as Nereid and Proteus, also draw on marine mythology, creating a cohesive narrative framework that complements the characteristics and symbolism of the planet. This systematic approach demonstrates the human tendency to seek order and meaning even among remote and seemingly chaotic celestial bodies. Exoplanets, planets orbiting stars beyond our solar system, have introduced a modern challenge to planetary naming. Initially, these planets were designated with alphanumeric codes, such as HD 209458b, which indicated their parent star in order of discovery. While scientifically precise, these designations lack the richness, memorability, and cultural resonance of traditional names. Recognizing this limitation, the International Astronomical Union began allowing the public to participate in naming campaigns, inviting submissions from around the world. This approach democratizes the process, giving people from diverse cultural backgrounds a chance to contribute names that reflect mythology, local folklore, literature, or human creativity. In some cases, exoplanets have been named after gods, goddesses, and legendary figures from non-Western cultures, further enriching the tapestry of celestial nomenclature and acknowledging that the cosmos belongs to all humanity. The symbolic and poetic significance of planetary names cannot be overstated. Each name carries layers of meaning, reflecting human attempts to interpret, understand, and relate to celestial phenomena. Mercury's association with speed and communication, Venus's connection to beauty and allure, Mars's link to blood and war, and Saturn's association with time and contemplation all illustrate the projection of human qualities onto distant worlds. Even when names are chosen based on mythology, literature, or modern culture, they create narratives that transform abstract scientific objects into familiar and memorable entities. Names become tools of storytelling, aiding memory, education, and public engagement with astronomy, and allowing people to form emotional and intellectual connections with the cosmos. Language is a central factor in the endurance and universality of planetary names. Latin, historically the language of scholarship in Europe, preserved the classical names of the planets and ensured their transmission across centuries and cultures. Translations into vernacular languages retain the essence of the original names, creating shared recognition and understanding worldwide. In this way, planetary names act as a bridge across cultures, connecting diverse communities through a common cosmic vocabulary. The Latin roots of many names also evoke a sense of history, linking contemporary scientific discovery with the observations, interpretations, and imagination of ancient civilizations. Cultural perspectives continue to shape planetary naming practices. Ancient Chinese astronomy, for example, associated planets with the 5 classical elements: water, fire, wood, metal, and earth, creating a system in which celestial motion corresponded to natural forces, philosophical concepts, and human affairs. Mercury was associated with water, Venus with metal, Mars with fire, Jupiter with wood, and Saturn with earth. These symbolic associations guided calendars, agriculture, medicine, and governance, illustrating that planetary names are more than labels. They are integral to how societies interpret and organize their world. Similarly, Indian, Babylonian, and Mayan astronomical traditions assign planets names linked to Kahyas, spirits, and cosmic principles, demonstrating the universality of connecting celestial observation with human culture and spirituality. Technological advances such as telescopes and space probes have expanded the frontiers of discovery and, consequently, the scope of planetary naming. Each new discovery challenges astronomers to maintain thematic consistency while recognizing the unique characteristics of the object. The naming of features on planets and moons, such as mountains, craters, and valleys, follows strict thematic rules set by the International Astronomical Union. For example, features on Venus are often named after famous women, whereas craters on Mercury are named after artists and musicians. These guidelines create order and meaning, helping scientists categorize and communicate about planetary surfaces while honoring human cultural achievements. The process of naming celestial bodies also highlights the interplay between science, mythology, and public imagination. While the International Astronomical Union provides formal approval and oversight, public participation has grown increasingly influential. Contests, campaigns, and suggestions from educators, students, and enthusiasts worldwide demonstrate that the act of naming is a shared human endeavor. By contributing to the names of exoplanets, asteroids, and even minor moons, people worldwide engage with the cosmos in a personal and meaningful way, reinforcing the idea that exploration is not just about observation, but also about cultural connection, creativity, and collective storytelling. Planetary naming also evolves over time as our understanding of celestial objects deepens. The reclassification of Pluto as a dwarf planet, for example, reflects advances in knowledge and changing definitions within astronomy. Despite its reclassification, the name Pluto retains symbolic and cultural significance, illustrating how names can outlive their scientific context. Similarly, as more exoplanets are discovered, naming conventions will continue to evolve, blending mythology, literature, history, and global cultural contributions. The story of planetary names, therefore, is not static but dynamic, reflecting humanity's expanding understanding of the universe and our place within it. Each planet's name carries not only mythological significance, but also a story about the human imagination at the time of its discovery. Mercury, the swiftest planet in the sky, was observed by ancient astronomers in multiple cultures. Its rapid motion led to its association with gods of speed, communication, and travel. The Romans chose Mercury, the messenger of the gods, a choice that elegantly captured the essence of the planet's behavior. Venus, the brightest object in the night sky after the moon, was named for the goddess of love and beauty, embodying the awe it inspired. Across cultures, this luminous presence often became associated with femininity, fertility, or celestial guidance, showing how universal observation inspired symbolic interpretation. Mars, with its red hue, evoked images of blood, war, and power, a connection that transcended cultures and even influenced popular imagination in literature, art, and modern space exploration narratives. Jupiter, the largest planet, symbolized authority, leadership, and cosmic prominence. Its name reflected not only its size, but also its dominating presence in the heavens. Early astronomers and astrologers often linked Jupiter to kingship, expansion, and protection, reinforcing the interplay between celestial observation and societal values. Saturn, with its stately, deliberate orbit and enigmatic rings, inspired associations with time, patience, and agriculture. In Roman mythology, Saturn was the month of sowing, sowing, harvest, and measured growth, a fitting metaphor for a planet whose slow movement evokes longevity and continuity. Observers of the ancient world recognized patterns in the sky and translated them into narratives that guided not only scientific interpretation, but also moral, philosophical, and cultural frameworks. The naming of Uranus introduced an intersection between classical mythology and modern intellectual culture. Herschel's initial proposal of naming the planet after King George III demonstrates how discovery can be intertwined with political and cultural contexts. However, the ultimate choice of Uranus maintained mythological continuity, honoring the Greek sky god and linking the new planet to the celestial hierarchy already established. Uranus's moons, named after Shakespearean and Popian characters, further illustrate how planetary naming can celebrate literature, creativity, and the broader human imagination rather than strictly adhering to mythology. This departure enriches the tradition, showing that naming is a living practice, capable of evolving with cultural and scientific developments. Neptune, discovered based on mathematical prediction rather than direct observation, emphasizes another aspect of planetary naming: the relationship between scientific achievement and symbolic representation. The blue planet's name connects it to Neptune, the Roman god of the sea, highlighting how appearance and perception guide the human desire for meaning. Neptune's moons, also named with oceanic or mythological associations, reinforce thematic consistency and demonstrate the importance of narrative coherence in astronomical nomenclature. Triton, the largest of Neptune's moons, evokes the mysteries of deep space, reinforcing the tradition of projecting symbolic meaning onto distant worlds. Pluto's story adds layers of complexity to planetary naming. As a distant, icy world, its name captures the imagination, symbolizing the underworld, isolation, and mystery. The name's connection to Percival Lowell, the astronomer who initiated the search, provides an additional layer of homage and symbolic resonance. Pluto's reclassification as a dwarf planet in 2006 sparked public debate and interest, highlighting how planetary names are deeply embedded in culture, media, and emotion. Even though its scientific classification changed, the name Pluto continues to evoke wonder in storytelling, illustrating that naming is not merely about categorization, but also about human connection to the cosmos. The story of minor planets, including the thousands of asteroids discovered since the early 1800s, further underscores the interplay between science, culture, and imagination. Many of the earliest asteroids were named after mythological figures, maintaining consistency with planetary traditions. However, as discoveries multiplied, the scope expanded to honor scientists, artists, literary characters, and notable historical figures. This expansion demonstrates the human impulse to connect discovery with creativity, culture, and personal influence. By naming celestial objects after figures from diverse fields, astronomers acknowledge the breadth of human achievement while maintaining a structured system that allows for categorization and study. Moons present a particularly rich canvas for naming practices. Beyond thematic consistency, the naming of moons often incorporates detailed cultural and historical knowledge. For example, Jupiter's moons include names like Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, each reflecting a figure from Greek mythology connected to Zeus. Saturn's moons, named after titans and mythological figures, reinforce the symbolic resonance of the planet and its celestial entourage. Uranus's moons, with their literary names, expand this tradition to include cultural storytelling, reflecting the creativity and intellectual context of their discoverers. Even the smallest moons often receive names consistent with these themes, demonstrating meticulous attention to narrative coherence and cultural significance in celestial naming. The rise of exoplanet discovery in recent decades has introduced new opportunities and challenges for naming. Exoplanets, orbiting stars far beyond our solar system, were initially designated by alphanumeric codes, which are scientifically practical but culturally sterile. Recognizing the value of engaging the public and connecting discovery to human imagination, the International Astronomical Union organized naming campaigns that invited people worldwide to contribute suggestions. These names now reflect global myths, folklore, literature, and cultural references, highlighting the universality of curiosity and the shared human desire to name and understand the cosmos. In this way, exoplanet naming exemplifies a collaborative approach, linking science, culture, and education. Symbolism continues to be a driving force in planetary naming. Names provide narrative frameworks that help humans relate to distant and abstract celestial objects. Mercury's speed suggests communication and agility, Venus embodies beauty and inspiration, Mars evokes struggle and passion, and Saturn conveys patience and time. Even for distant planets like Neptune and Pluto, names reflect mystery, depth, and exploration. This symbolic layer transforms planets from mere objects in space into vessels of human imagination, emotion, and storytelling. The enduring power of these names lies in their ability to bridge observation and interpretation, making the cosmos accessible and meaningful. Language, too, plays a central role in the endurance and recognition of planetary names. Latin, historically the scholarly language of Europe, preserved the classical names of planets and transmitted them across centuries and cultures. The translation of these names into vernacular languages allowed broad recognition and ensured that astronomical vocabulary could serve as a universal tool. Planetary names thus function not only as identifiers, but also as cultural connectors, linking generations of observers across time and space. They become part of human heritage, conveying history, mythology, and imagination alongside scientific knowledge. Cultural perspectives shape the understanding and interpretation of planetary names. Ancient Chinese astronomy, for example, associated planets with the 5 classical elements: water, fire, wood, metal, and earth, and linked them to human affairs, agriculture, and philosophy. Mercury's association with water suggested fluidity and adaptability. Mars's connection to fire implied aggression and transformation, and Saturn's link to Earth symbolized stability and structure. Indian, Babylonian, and Mayan traditions also connected planets to deities, spirits, and cosmic principles, demonstrating the universality of assigning symbolic meaning to celestial observation. These cultural frameworks illustrate that planetary names are not merely labels, but integrated systems of knowledge, reflection, and storytelling. The technological advances of the modern era have expanded the range of celestial objects requiring names, from minor planets and moons to craters and surface features. Each discovery challenges astronomers to maintain thematic and symbolic coherence while accommodating new contexts. Features on Venus, for example, are named after famous women, whereas craters on Mercury honor artists and musicians. This systematic approach ensures consistency, allows for educational engagement, and celebrates human culture. Naming thus becomes an act of preservation, recognition, and cultural expression, transforming raw scientific data into a narrative framework accessible to professionals and the public alike. The participatory nature of modern naming initiatives further illustrates the evolving connection between humans and the cosmos. Through public contests and campaigns, educators, students, and enthusiasts worldwide contribute to the naming of exoplanets, moons, and minor planets. These initiatives democratize discovery, reinforce engagement with astronomy, and encourage a sense of ownership and personal connection to the universe. By involving the global community, the process of naming planets becomes a shared cultural activity, blending science with creativity, imagination, and societal values. Minor planets and dwarf planets provide a particularly rich field for exploring the evolution of naming conventions. The discovery of Ceres in 1801 marked the beginning of the asteroid era. Initially considered a planet, Ceres was named after the Roman goddess of agriculture, reflecting its small but significant presence in the sky and maintaining continuity with mythological traditions. Soon after, Pallas, Juno, and Vesta were discovered, each named for goddesses of wisdom, marriage, and home, respectively. These early names established a precedent for balancing mythology with recognition of the celestial object's characteristics and significance. As the number of discoveries grew exponentially, astronomers had to expand naming conventions, leading to a more diverse set of names that included not only mythological figures, but also scientists, artists, and even abstract concepts, demonstrating how naming reflects the breadth of human culture. Dwarf planets discovered in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, such as Eris, Haumea, and Makemake, illustrate the continuing interplay between mythology, cultural significance, and scientific discovery. Eris, slightly smaller than Pluto and located in the scattered disk, was named after the Greek goddess of strife and discord, a fitting choice given the debates it sparked regarding Pluto's planetary status. Haumea, a rapidly spinning, elongated dwarf planet in the Kuiper Belt, was named after a Hawaiian goddess of fertility and childbirth, reflecting both its celestial uniqueness and an acknowledgement of global mythology beyond the Greco-Roman tradition. Makemake, discovered shortly afterward, drew its name from the creator god of the Rapa Nui people of Easter Island, celebrating indigenous cultural heritage while adhering to the IAU's guidelines for mythologically themed names. These examples underscore how modern planetary naming not only honors tradition, but also embraces cultural diversity, symbolically connecting humanity to the cosmos in multifaceted ways. The symbolic power of planetary names extends beyond individual objects to influence education, literature, and public perception of astronomy. Names like Mars and Venus conjure imagery that is immediately evocative, allowing educators to connect celestial observation with human narratives. Science fiction writers, inspired by planetary names, have built entire worlds and stories around these celestial symbols, blending imagination with scientific reality. Mars, for example, has inspired countless tales of exploration, conflict, and colonization, while Venus has been imagined as a lush, mysterious world or a metaphor for love and beauty. In this way, planetary names serve as cultural touchstones, bridging scientific knowledge with creativity and storytelling, and shaping how society engages with the cosmos. The future of planetary naming promises continued expansion and democratization. As telescope technology, space probes, and other observational tools advance, the discovery of new planets, moons, and exoplanets accelerates. With each new object, astronomers face the challenge of assigning meaningful names that fit thematic conventions, honor cultural diversity, and reflect human creativity. Public participation in naming initiatives, particularly for exoplanets, ensures that the process remains inclusive and globally resonant. Names drawn from diverse mythologies, literature, and modern culture enrich the tapestry of celestial nomenclature, reinforcing the idea that the cosmos is a shared heritage and that discovery is a collective human endeavor. Planetary naming also fosters philosophical reflection on humanity's place in the universe. By projecting human stories, myths, and symbols onto distant worlds, we imbue the cosmos with meaning, connecting ourselves emotionally and intellectually to environments we cannot physically inhabit. Names help humans conceptualize vast distances, complex orbits, and otherworldly conditions, making the abstract tangible and the remote familiar. In doing so, planetary nomenclature becomes not just a scientific tool, but also a form of cultural expression and intellectual exploration, allowing humanity to assert a presence in the universe through imagination, narrative, and symbolic connection. The interplay between mythology, culture, and science in planetary naming demonstrates how human understanding of the cosmos is inseparable from human experience. Across millennia, civilizations have looked up at the night sky and projected their values, beliefs, and stories onto celestial phenomena. The Romans named planets after gods whose characteristics mirrored observed celestial behavior. The Chinese linked planets to elements and cosmic principles. Modern astronomers continue these traditions while incorporating literature, indigenous mythologies, and public engagement, creating a rich, layered, and globally inclusive system of names. This evolution reflects not only the growth of scientific knowledge, but also humanity's enduring desire to connect the heavens with culture, imagination, and collective memory. Ultimately, the names of planets remind us that astronomy is not solely about observation and measurement. It is also about storytelling, symbolism, and human connection. Each name carries with it a history of discovery, cultural significance, and imagination. Mercury, Venus, and Mars link us to ancient mythology and shared human observation. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune connect us to evolving narratives of exploration, literature, and symbolic interpretation. Pluto and other dwarf planets highlight the ongoing dialogue between scientific classification, cultural resonance, and public imagination. Minor planets, moons, and exoplanets showcase the expansion of human knowledge, creativity, and inclusivity in naming practices. Together, these names form a celestial lexicon that is both scientifically precise and culturally meaningful, bridging the gap between observation and imagination. In reflecting on how planets get their names, one realizes that naming is far more than a practical necessity. It is a window into human history, revealing how ancient civilizations interpreted the heavens, how mythology shaped perception, and how modern culture continues to interact with discovery. Names serve as mnemonic devices, educational tools, and sources of inspiration, allowing humanity to navigate the vast, complex universe with both understanding and imagination. They connect generations of astronomers, mythologists, writers, and enthusiasts in a shared endeavor to interpret, celebrate, and relate to the cosmos. In conclusion, the act of naming planets is a deeply human endeavor that intertwines science, culture, mythology, and creativity. From the earliest observations of Mercury and Venus to the modern discovery of distant exoplanets, naming has been a bridge between the celestial and the cultural, the abstract and the imaginative. Each name reflects human curiosity, observation, and storytelling, transforming distant, invisible worlds into familiar symbols that resonate across time and space. As we continue to explore the universe and uncover new worlds, the tradition of planetary naming will evolve, embracing global perspectives, celebrating cultural diversity, and enriching humanity's connection to the cosmos. Through the names we assign to planets, moons, and minor celestial bodies, we assert not only knowledge but also imagination, linking our shared human experience to the infinite expanse of the universe. Planetary names are, in essence, the stories we tell the universe about ourselves, and through them, we make the vast and distant cosmos feel close, meaningful, and profoundly human.